Live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.
Hey everybody, it's your boy MP, Live Struggle Legacy, and welcome to the Live Struggle Legacy Podcast, Season 2. Now, real quick, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button. Drop a comment. If you're listening on a streaming platform, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that notification button. Drop us a review. If you're looking to have your business or brand promoted, we're looking for sponsors, so holla at me. Okay, no further ado, we got a very special guest, the triple OG, y'all. Casey Turner, better known as Mingle Mixx. What's happening?
What's good?
Man, I appreciate you coming on the show, bro. It's been a long time coming.
Word up.
So if I go over this man's bio, we're going to be here for 3.5 hours, and we don't have that much time. So we're going to get some good stuff out. I'm going to tell you a quick story about Casey and just something that like a fun memory of Casey and myself. And then maybe if he wants to tell you a story, we're going to just tap into his live struggle and go into, your whole story, bro. You got an incredible journey in the Tampa Bay area overall. I'm going to tell you another story of when I don't. We'll get there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Simmer down. I know you're excited. You had about 5 espressos involved.
Yes, sir. So for me, a memorable moment was a very special event that I felt like honored to be a part of, and that was on 50th. Remember at Ferg's, 50 at Ferg's.
I do. It's a little hazy.
That's okay.
But
it was a great time because, you're one of the OGs in the music game.
That's nice of you to say.
And so, you and our brother Hard White, yep. I was with my, I think I was a brand new dad at the time. And so my son's mom and I just pulled up, just kind of passing through to celebrate.
Gotcha.
And JJ and I were doing that one song at the time.
Gotcha.
And so we got to do the performance, and then it was just a good time, man. It was a genuine good time. It was nothing but homies, and I hadn't touched a mic in a while, and it just felt real good to be able to turn up for you and celebrate your 50th, bro. Because you're the triple OG, bro. So to be a part of that was big for me. That was big.
And I'm glad to certainly be able to offer that opportunity, man. And so I know MCs, especially one with your gift, like to grab mics. I've been around rappers for a long time. So I get it.
So, okay, we're talking about rappers. Now, I thought I knew quite a bit about your past, but what I didn't know, you actually used to rap at one point, right?
I'll try and make this brief, although that's not my forte. In 1986, true story, well, y'all was not even born yet, but yeah. What year were you born?
84.
Oh, man. So you was 2. 1986. I take a basketball scholarship at Polk Community College, Winter Haven, Florida.
Okay.
And I'm from Lakeland. Went to high school, middle school, and high school in Lakeland. And basketball scholarship over to PCC, the University of West. But I'm not real good at it. Not like you guys. But I was a beatbox guy, and then he and I both went to Greensboro, North Carolina. We continued to do that. He played at UNC Greensboro. I played at a smaller school, Greensboro College. And then in 91, we graduated, came back. And I remember May 12th, 1991. And it's wild, the stuff I remember and the stuff I don't, but I remember this. Graduated on a Sunday. I came home on a Monday, May 13th, 1991. I bet if you find a calendar, that's the dates match up. But, and I said, Mom, I said, I'm moving to Clearwater. She said, when? I said, tomorrow. Because we had a talent show the following week. And we had a group called Day Monet, which was one of the first rap groups in the area, maybe Overdose, Soul Puppets. People, again, you probably never heard of, and that's okay.
I know Overdose. You know about Overdose from the Bird?
Sonny Crack.
Yes, sir.
Yep,
Shout out Sonny Crack.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
to the homies.
But Boys with the Bass.
Yes, sir.
Were doing music at the time, but there wasn't a whole lot of not like there is now.
Yeah.
I'm talking 91, man.
Yeah.
20, 35 years ago.
Yeah.
We had a talent show. And I started out as and there's some video out there if you want to Google on your YouTube while you're subscribing. Demonet, Out Like a Sucker. There's some stuff of us at the Armory, man, and started out as a backup dancer. You know, King JB, that everybody probably knows here in the local DJ scene. Yep. He and I were backup dancers for Demonet. Doing shows. And then we living with my dude Rick. Me and Stolf and Rick living together. Jam Master Ice was living in the garage. He was a DJ. Rick was a DJ. And so I started practicing, learn how to DJ. You know, and like anything in life, you know, I tell my students at school, we can talk about school in a little bit or whatever, but practice.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
How do you get to be a better basketball player? You practice.
Yeah.
How do you get to be a better DJ? You practice. I tell my students, how do you get to be a better reader? You gotta practice. How do you get better at your multiplication tables? You gotta practice.
I love it.
And that's life. That's a live struggle. But no, learned how to DJ, and then probably 94 got my first club gig in Ybor City. Shortly after that,
you remember where it was?
I do. It's called a place called La Cueva.
Okay.
Actually, before La Cueva, it was called Harpoon Louis.
Yeah, I remember Harpoon Louis.
The nice outside, right?
Yeah,
right across the street from what's Tom's spot?
I know. I can't
Tom
think.
George,
Not Crowbar.
Crowbar.
Yeah, Crowbar.
Right across the street from Crowbar. The outside spot.
I used to love that spot.
Again, that's 30 years ago.
Yeah, they used to play like a lot of like reggaeton kind of stuff. Right?
I think I'm sure they have since then. Like I did Thursday night. My dude DJ Redbeard, man, who's on tour now with somebody I don't even know who. But I mean, back when I started, man, I didn't know where to put the RCA chords. Like I had to write it down and tape it on there. Like I didn't know that I didn't know. You know, I didn't know. You can laugh if you want. But that was my first gig. Shortly after that, I got a gig out at Casey's Cove on Fowler doing a college night on Wednesdays. 25-cent draft, 25-cent beers, packed. We do 500, 600, 700, 800 people. DJing there, I did Wednesdays there for a couple years. And really from that, probably, people coming there that I got other gigs. You know, people come, oh man, you got 800 people out here, come DJ for us. And so that's often how it works. So that's how it started. That's my origin story.
I love it. I want to drop a fun fact for the audience real quick. So fun fact about Mingle Mixx. Over 1 million people this man has DJ'd to. Yeah. Over 1 million.
Yeah.
You know how they say McDonald's being served? Mingle Mixx over 1 million served records to over 1 million.
Oh, and I crunched the numbers one day. I mean, I did 2 seasons of USF football, right? So 8 home games, let's say 20,000 people. So that's 160,000. 2 seasons, I'm at 320. I did 9 seasons for the Tampa Bay Storm. Let's say 8 home games, 10,000 people. That's 80,000 people. Times 9 is 72. I mean, and we hadn't even talked about clubs yet. I mean, you do 1,000 people at Gators on Sunday.
Yeah.
Times 8 months, it's 32. I'm good at math, I really am. That's 32,000 people times 6. It's 180,000. The numbers get to 1 million. Mr. MP.
Oh, easily.
The numbers get to 1 million.
I'm doing the math on your bio. I'm getting lost in the numbers. I'm like the meme where you see the guy all confused, the numbers floating around everywhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, and some of it's dumb luck, man. I ain't finna sit here and lie to you. You know, some of it's your network.
Like right place, right time kind of thing?
Right place, right time is some of it. You know, I tell, shout out DJ Dez. Dez texted me a couple years ago, about 5 years ago. Shouts out to the DJ plug. But Dez texted me a couple years ago. He said, yeah, man. He said, I was out at so-and-so the other night, and I got on a Tuesday. He said, I got a gig for Saturdays. He said, because a wise man told me to put your face in the place. You got to go out, you know, on a Tuesday. I got the gig at Jackson's. Me and T Quest worked there 7 years of Fridays. Open for Tommy Lee, some other people. But 7 years of Fridays, hottest club in town, hottest Friday night in town. Shouts out Pop Productions. Them motherfuckers know how to throw a party.
Yeah.
But we were there. But I got there because we was at the Dollhouse on a Tuesday. And, you know, I know part of your mission of this podcast is to, you know, inspire and give some of that advice, you know. And like Dad said, because the wise man told me, man, you got to put your face into place, at least in the entertainment industry. You know, I mean, and then things have changed now. It's a little different, you know, with the internet and Facebook networking and the social media platforms. But like I say, I got a job. I worked every Friday for 7 years because I was at the Dollhouse on a Tuesday. We used to go every Tuesday. But I mean, there were times, and many times, that I went out and lived the nightlife. And I'm a married man, you know, with a teenager at home, and that those days are mostly over. We went out 5 nights a week. But there were lots of nights, man, I didn't feel like going out. You know, I'm tired like I got a day job. Tired like everybody else. But you go on the off chance.
Keep your face in the place.
Keep your face in the place. And like I said, hottest Friday night in town at the time.
Yeah. This is Jackson's.
Jackson's,
Jackson.
Arbor Island.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a new name now, but I mean, that joint was jumping, man. 1,000 people, 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Dress code very strict.
Yeah, I remember that.
By the way.
Yeah. Back then, I couldn't even go there. I didn't meet their criteria.
Yeah, it was a very strict dress code. But
I remember. Truth be told, I never even went to Jackson's. I had a partner who used to always try to get me to go, and I'm like, man, like I'm on the t-shirt and jeans scene. You know what I mean?
Get in there.
If I can't wear my fitted, my Bin Laden, and my Jabot jeans,
and I had issue with it sometimes with the promotion people, and they're good people, they're not bad people. But I'm like, this dude got flip flops and jeans on, and he's in here.
He knew somebody. You know how that goes. That used to kill me, bro. Because I'd be like, I'd go in and I'm ready to spend money.
Right.
They don't let me in because I got the big t-shirt on. And I'm like, what about, bro? And they're like, what, bro, you talking about?
Right. He's smashing one of the bartenders, so he's good. He's good. No, you're right.
So I know you've had some unbelievable accolades, man. And, you know, in this podcast, we love stories. We love stories around here. And I know you got some good ones. So is there something you could think of, maybe like a peak in your career?
You know what?
About?
No, and I did want to say this. 2 things that I learned from Angel Soto, man. Shout out Media Lounge. First thing he said on a recent the Buck With Me podcast, man, my dude Buckwheat, was you know, I don't always go around and talk about myself, MP. You know, I'm a humble cat. And Angel said that, and I was like, I'm gonna say that. The other thing is, I did a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of cool shit. No, but I was thinking about it. A good story. And people, you know, I was on Big Brother.
Yes.
On CBS.
I got a story about that.
I got evicted third, which is fine, in a banana suit. And I'll be very honest. If I hadn't wore the banana suit, probably people would not remember me. And that's okay. I had my shot. People like, would you go back? Yeah, I go back.
Did you love it?
It's a 1 in 13 chance, $500,000. It was hard for me.
Yeah.
I don't lie very well. I'm a pretty honest cat.
Yeah.
My natural default is not to lie. Tell the truth. Oh, that's the other thing I will say. I know I was talking to Angel recently, and he was talking about his new artist, Robin Life, but that he put that it was an AI artist. You know, you tell the truth. And I would share with you the bio I sent over to you. I was looking at it, man. Ain't no lies on that thing, man. Ain't no lies on there.
No lies to take.
No, I am not finna, as you used to say, don't lie on your dick. And don't, for our younger viewers, don't lie on your dick, man. Don't say you banged no girl, you didn't bang that girl.
Yes, sir.
Don't lie on your dick. That's the old saying. So I'm not, don't lie on your dick. So I'm not. But no, a great story is auditioning for Big Brother.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I sit home, we used to watch, for me, it's I'm a teacher, I'm a coach. And so I'm off in the summers. And so it's a guilty summer pleasure for me.
Yeah.
And we watched for years. And and it pops up in Creative Loafing or whatever, and it says auditions, casting call for narcissists. Yeah, I was like,
That was the
ad. Yeah, calling all narcissists. And I was like, I have some pride and everything. You know what I mean? I'm tall, I'm good looking, and I'm athletic. You know what I mean? I'm funny. People like me. But I went. My mom had been telling me for years to go try Survivor or try something like that, whatever. And I have no desire to go on. Like, I have to laugh. My wife really likes Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
And I look at her sometimes. I watch it with her, and it's interesting. That whole survivalist thing. Like, I'm ready for a survivalist. Like, I got $4,000 in a sock in case the solar flares hit. You know what I'm saying? I got some guns. My daddy got a saying. I figure if I got a gun, you got a sandwich. I got a gun and a sandwich. For the end times.
But I actually got that gun. But I got that sandwich.
I figure if I got a gun, you got a sandwich. I got a gun and a sandwich. But again, we don't go around robbing people. These are the end times, right? Apocalypse and all that. I digress. I'm a digressor.
So you're good, bro.
I'm
so you're talking about the accolades. You're talking about going for the audition.
Yeah. So mom had, I know what Naked and Afraid though. I like my Naked and Afraid opinion is on purpose. they out there hungry on purpose. Like, I've been broke. You probably been broke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be broke on purpose. If I have other options, well, I had no desire. And I know some people who've been on that show. I met not bad people. Talk about narcissists. There are people who go on TV who just want to be on TV. I wanted to be on the show, and I wanted to be on TV. I also wanted to shot $500,000, but I'm finna be naked, man, and eat bugs and tree bark and shit on purpose. Y'all want to be scared? I'll drop y'all the 22nd and 4th, man. It'll scare the fuck out of you, man. For free. You ain't gonna be on TV. You might be on TV, but after the fact. Anyway, so I tell my wife, I say, I'm gonna run over there. It was the Bevo Brady's on Hillsborough.
Okay.
And I tell my wife, I said, babe, I said, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go to this cattle call. Sunday at 2:00. I'm off work, whatever. And let me run out there. I said, if I get there and there's 1,000 people, like American Idol, I said, I'll be back. I'll be back. Man, I ain't finna stand in no line, 1,000 people, man. Not for a maybe. You know? Anyway, I get there and I'm number 104. I think I still got the little sheet at the house in the archives. But you get called in, and I was happy they was calling us back a couple at a time. So you get to play off each other a little bit. Like, you're just sitting there, you want to be you. And I tell people who have asked me how I get on the show. What's your advice? My advice is be yourself.
Yeah.
And most of the people, if you ever get a chance to talk to them about us on the show, they'll probably tell you the same thing. They have enough steps in the casting process. If you're trying to be like Evil Dick, or you're trying to be like Janelle, or you're trying to be like so-and-so, they're going to sniff that out. So you be yourself. Like I say, I was 40. Was in shape still. Hit the gym, whatever. Still. And I get back there and we sit in a booth in the back, and the casting person calls you back, the PA, production assistant calls you back. And you're sitting there chopping it up with them. And they go around and they say, what do you do? Everybody get at it. It's like black chick, gay dude, a lawyer, me, and like an Asian kid. And they're probably in their 20s, probably. But two things. They go around, and one of the questions that the PA asks is, let's go around and who would you vote out? Like I say, it's 5 of us sitting there. It's 5 of us. And the chick goes, well, I'd vote out him, tall guy.
Talking about you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about me. And I was like, why is that? Just because you just look like you're good at stuff. I No, say it. No, say it, son. Like the gay dude goes, I vote on him. You too?
You too?
It too, birthday?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I get rid of him too, man. I don't like his looks or whatever, said so. The lawyer dude picks somebody else. They get to me, and I go, they said, Casey, who was you picked? I said, man, I got to evict Tina. I said, why?
The first one that took the shot at you?
Black chick.
Yeah.
I said, I'm finna be on national TV, man. I said, and my wife know I like brown chicks.
Yeah.
So you got to go, Tina. I can't have the temptation around on that.
Yeah, we got to eliminate that threat.
Man, we laugh so hard, man. And you sit around, I don't know how much you know about the process. You know, it's one of them things, at least this particular, I can only speak from my experience. But having talked to other people, I don't know about other shows, but they say, hey, we'll get back to you. You know, so you sit, go home. We'll let you know. Like, they don't let you not know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They
don't call and give you the decline. So get home, man, on Sunday, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, nothing. Make me a drink, getting ready for the week, whatever. Hey, man, hey, Casey, this is so-and-so from Our House Productions. Felipe, that was his name. What a nice guy. Shouts out Felipe. We liked you today. We'd like to have you come back for another one-on-one screen test.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I went to the Vinoy. I was like, cool, know where that is. And really it literally was Felipe sitting there, 3 people in the room. Felipe sitting there, me sitting in a chair, very similar to this, and a cameraman. And he peppered me with questions. And, you know, I have a lot of, as a longtime veteran of public education, I mean, I got opinions. I got observations.
Yeah.
It's not always perfect. I don't know if I'll share any of them with you today either, since this is etched in the universe. But I mean, I think there are things we can fix in education. So I share some of those things. And I don't know if they didn't think that I was going to go on TV and be that fire point, that, you know, flashpoint. Because I got on there, I said, man, shit. I have a community I have to go back to after this.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. People ask me after the show, what'd you do after the show? I said, I went back to work. What'd y'all do? I went back to work.
Had to.
I had to keep lights on, right? But anyway, and so he left there. He said, we'll let you know. So he called me that's probably March of 09. Got a call about a month later and flew me to Cali, Hollywood for a week. And like you take a psych exam, like 5,000 questions. When I say they have enough steps, like I don't know, you ever take a psych exam?
Yeah.
5,000 questions. Legit. One test with 3,000. Legit. 5,000. That's not an exaggeration because we don't lie here. Don't lie on your psych test. Or you dick. And like I say, I don't know, like I say, so you've taken one. If you've not ever taken one, they ask the same question enough times in a little tiny different way, a little nuance, you know, that they're gonna find out, you know, who you really are. You know, when I walk in a room, I hear voices even though no one's there. Sometimes, always, never. Never. You know, but I'm not saying they don't take people to big sometimes. You know what I mean? But again, 5,000 question psych exam. Took the Wonderlic, which is famously known. I think that the NFL Combine, they take that. 50 questions, 12 minutes. And I'm a good test taker. And the proctor girl's like, you know, on question 16, it says tight. And I just want you guys to know that it means tight, like screw something on tight. It doesn't mean tight like, oh, that looks tight. And I'm like this. America. And I'm sitting there about my number 2 pencil, bro, like this. Just say go. Just say go. The questions get a little easier. They get harder as it goes along. You know, do your best, whatever. I'll be real honest with you, man. 50 questions. This is true story. You know what? Don't lie on your dick. True story.
Oh, your psych test.
So, no, this is the Wonderlic,
Okay.
the IQ test. And like I say, I got, you know what I'm saying? I like a good test, man. Let's do it. Run it. My coworkers like, yeah, you're smart. I think I'm smart. I say, let's take the test. We can take it today. I'll drink a quart and still score higher than you. It's okay. I love you. You're great. You're great. With the second graders, I love you. You're great. But you don't want none of this money right here. Anyway, I get to number 44. And I knew I had 40 right. You know what I'm saying? And I try and teach my teenage son, you know, when he's on his studies, he's in high school. I say, how'd you do on the test? He said, I think I did good. I said, well, look at that. I said, you know, if it's 2 plus 2, you know it's 4. Okay, I got 1 right. You know? Red and yellow make purple, I think, or blue. I'm not sure. But I know that shit. You know what I mean? The sun comes up, rises in the east, sets in the west. You know that shit. I think America's got all messed up because people just want to call stuff out of goddamn Alexa or something. Alexa, where does the sun rise? You know, you're just supposed to know that.
Exactly.
If you're over 12, you're supposed to know that. Anyway, I get to 44. I know I got 40 correct. I look at the girl next to me, and she's on 11. And I'm like, and no shade against her. Like I said, I think they take all kinds. But, you know, they take people who hear voices, take people with an 88 IQ.
Wouldn't be any fun if they didn't.
Wouldn't be any fun if they did it. Right. What's a bunch of library nerds sitting around the house? No, I'm not watching that. Drama and romance is what sells most of those shows. And watch people eat bugs on purpose. On purpose. Ain't no bigger way. Would you go on naked and afraid? No. Anyway, and so take a physical, did the piss test, and I'm not saying that they don't take heroin users. They probably do. I don't know. Like I said, it takes all kinds. It's a hodgepodge of society, right? Cross section. But I could see over the course of a week, like you usually have to go down to get your lunch. You sat in a hotel room, couldn't leave your hotel room, only to go to the interview, and like the handlers come and walk you to the interview. Handlers come and walk you to the whatever. And you go down for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But like Monday, there was like 200 people at breakfast. By Wednesday, it was like 100. On Thursday, it was 50. On Friday, it was 30. On Saturday, it was like 15. And I'm like, they just shipping cats home, bro. Slash, your name ain't on the list. And so I got to the end, and like I said, the first day, Monday, you talking to 4 people. Wednesday, you talking to 8 people. And some of them don't even talk. You know, the cast of people. CBS is some of them. The Our House production people is a subcontractor of CBS that CBS does their casting through. But like on Saturday, man, like 20 people. And you're in a chair. 20. How y'all doing? You know what I mean?
Now you're starting to hear an echo in there, right?
Yeah. Only the front 4 people are talking. The other 16 are just taking notes. And I'm like, you know, you feel like, I don't know, you feel like you're at the NFL Combine. And they said, all right, we'll let you know. And that's where you wait. And I was working out with my dude, Pedro Red, man. I was in the gym. I was swole. It was been a steady decline since then. But I was in great shape. Bench press 225 about 8 times, man. I was strong. It's cardio, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I know I'll do good at the intellectual stuff, the whatever they call them, brainy comps or whatever. But I know there's some athletic stuff involved. So I got in shape. I was in good shape. And they called up and they said, hey, hey, he's looking good, but we don't know. It's like, if I hear that one more time. It's looking good, but we don't know. Might want to get your stuff in. And I was DJing Gators on Sundays. I had some class reunions I had booked that summer. And they said, maybe get somebody to cover your stuff, just in case. So I'm feeling good, right?
Yeah.
Feeling good. But we don't know. So they say, we're going to fly out, man. We're going to fly out a small crew. They send like a director chick and a cameraman. They said, want to do your bio package. And this is a true story. And they come and we staged something with some of my former students. You know, summertime, went down to the art center in St. Pete, man, got some room. And, you know, if you've ever seen it on TV, doing that. I did some DJing at the house. And the kid walks over and hands me a folder, and I open up the keys in there. They say, you made it. I was like, I really made it? Or I'm an alternate. They said, "No, you on the show." I was like, "Bet." When do we leave? He said 2 hours.
Oh shit.
True story. Because you know what? Don't lie on your dick.
Yeah.
so I left in 2 hours. Spent 9 days. Flew straight to Hollywood. I might have had a layover. I think it was a direct flight. And I'll be honest, I was sitting on the plane. I don't want to pick my nose because you never know. Are they filming me? Secret filming me on the plane? You never know. You just don't know. You don't know. Yeah. But we spent 9 days in sequester. 9 days. And we didn't get to leave the hotel room on that one. 9 days in sequester. Shaving my wife's initials into my chest hair. Taking notes. Doing a prison workout. You know, you can't go to the gym. You can't leave the hotel room. You make 3 calls a day. You call production. They don't even tell. You don't even call housekeeping directly. You call production. Order your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they bring it up. Because I guess they've had some leaks in the past.
I was just thinking that. So they got you almost like sealed in because...
Sequestered.
Yeah.
No, it's sequestered.
Wow.
It's sequestered.
Wow.
No TV, no magazines, no newspaper, no phones, no computers.
Then you in lockdown.
Sequestered. That was it. 100%. I had brought 2 or 3, 4 novels, brought a notebook, kept notes. As soon as you walk in the house, so you forget all your notes. I'm a note taker. And then got on the show. And the first time I saw the other house guests was when we walked out. And I got evicted third. And get Casey out.
So what was that like though?
It was a mind fuck, man. It was hard.
How long did you do this for? How long was that?
I was in sequester 9 days. Mm-hmm. And then I think I was in the house 35 days.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're in the house about 10 days before they do the first eviction. So then it's every Thursday is a live eviction. And I was third one out, so that's 21 days. Like I say, plus about 10. So maybe 31, 32 days. My eviction is famous if you want to find that. Roasted. Mingle Mixx, holla.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's on there. Mingle Mixx eviction, BB11.
Mingle Mixx eviction is 2 X's.
You know what? Casey. It's Casey.
Okay.
BB11 Casey.
Casey.
You got anything to say? I said, well, I got some shit to say. You ain't shit. With a personality and IQ of, ironically, a banana.
So I want to tell you my perspective on that. So that was before
I've been talking enough.
Do you remember what year that was?
It was 09.
Oh, it was 09.
Summer of 09, I'm positive, because my son, 15 years later, 16, 15 years later, still mad. I mean, teenagers get mad. I love you, son. I love you, Big Mo. Still mad. Not really. But they pulled me the day before his first birthday.
Oh.
And he was born in 08.
Yeah.
So his birthday is June 27th. So I can tell you, it's June 26th, 09.
Wow.
Because he turned 1 the next day and I missed the birthday party. It's on my bio package. I was like, oh, your birthday, he's a little tiny baby. His birthday tomorrow, he's going to be 1, but Daddy's not going to be there. Be in Hollywood.
Did it air around the same time or did it air later?
It airs live. And I say live. Every Thursday is live.
Okay.
I mean, they have stuff in the can.
It aired right at the same time. So it aired in 09.
It aired, like I say, I remember I was in sequester on July 4th because I was on the balcony. I'm a smoker, so they gave me a balcony room and the fireworks in Hollywood. You know, we had a view of the what? The 5, the 105, whatever it is. But like I said, 9 days, so whatever, 27 plus 9 days, we went into the house, and I don't think probably the first episode aired for about a week because they need some content. B-roll, not even B-roll. Yeah. I know I was super surprised to find out they have writers on the show. Like 200 people.
So it's actually scripted.
It's not scripted.
But they script
the
something?
The storylines are scripted.
Okay.
The romances, the arguments.
Yeah.
The food. We're gonna pick a storyline that this chick leaves a mess in the kitchen.
So they set the scenario.
They didn't tell us nothing. Okay. I can speak for me. They didn't tell us to say nothing. They didn't tell us who to vote for. Only thing I would say, and this is not a big secret, because I've seen lots of former other house guests say it, they will run everything by you. And by that I mean, like you go in the diary room, bro, and it's You're sitting in a chair, and there's a camera with a Kraco 6x9 from 82. Legit. Kraco. Kraco. And a camera. And you got the voice that talks to you. And they have people to do 8 to 4, 4 to midnight, and midnight to 8. Like, it's like, a 9 to 5 job, if you will.
Yeah.
They have overnights. But so you talk to like Chris is 8 to 4, and Michelle is 4 to midnight, and Rick is 12 to, midnight to 8. Coming out of the voice, coming out of the Kraco. But I can go in and say, I'm finna evict MP. I don't like his vibe, or he's good at any number of reasons.
Whatever.
It don't take nothing, man. I ate one of the girls.
He looks like he's too good at everything.
Well, and nobody said that, but that was what it was. People like him. He got to go.
Yeah.
He pretty smart. He got to go. He's funny. He got to go.
Yeah.
And I can only.
She's pretty. She got to go.
Right. The girl ended up winning my season, man. Sweet girl. But I just think.
Oh, she won? That same girl?
The girl that won my season, Jordan, was sweet, young Southern girl. Like I said, I was 40. I think Jordan was 25. But, she ain't going to be immense in no time soon. Sweet girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think she won. She was one of those people. You see it a lot. Again, I don't watch a whole lot of other reality shows like that. But it was one of those, we'll get her later.
Yeah.
We'll get her later. Let's get him out. We'll get her later. They get Casey out. And I sat next to her, and I had nothing bad to say about the girl. She ain't did nothing to me. Yeah. Like I am a Southern boy. Honor is important to me.
Yes.
Respect is important to me. Have I been disrespectful? Yes. Have I been dishonorable? Yes. Dishonorable? Of course. But not a whole lot. I stole some shit when I was a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? He rummaged through some people's purses at the parties. And I was a gangster. No, I'm kidding. But I have nothing bad to say about it. But she got to the end, the final 3. And to her credit, she won at the end when she needed to. She picked the right person. The person who wins that last HOH gets to pick between the final 2 who they want to go against. She picked the right person. She might not have beat the other person. It's to her credit. The winner's the winner.
Yeah.
People, the internet, Twitter.
The peanut gallery.
And they be like, so-and-so deserved to win. You know what? The winner wins.
So let me tell you about my experience of that, right? I was trying to figure out those dates because I was trying to remember where I was at.
Summer 09.
So my bid started in 08 when I went away to Fed. So when I thought for some reason I was in Mississippi.
Where was that?
Well, I thought I was in Mississippi. And
Did they put a hood on you?
So maybe they well, that's what I'm trying to get the dates right.
Sure.
Because I know I was in Williamsburg, South Carolina.
July 09.
From October of 2009 all the way, 08. I was from October of 08 until 2012, until, I want to say like summer 2012
Same spot?
or something. Yeah, well, I started a medium high, and then I did an in-house transfer. They had a camp in there.
Gotcha.
So then because normally you can't go from a high to a camp, but because it's in-house, they'll let you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I came in super young, and you get custody points. So when you're young, they jack up your custody points. So I'm a non-violent drug offender, but they got me at a place where people doing life, people serving for murder. It's violent. It's a violent disciplinary spot.
Yep.
But it's because you're young. They want to make sure they put you somewhere where they got to see where you're at. All that psych shit. They're keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
Right. But then when I turned 25, which I did in that spot, when you turn 25, your custody points drop way, way low.
What does custody points mean? I don't know what that means.
It's just ridiculous. It's how they classify your. So you have all different security classifications in
Kind of
prison.
know.
So you have like minimum all the way up to maximum, and then quite
I
a few in
understand
between,
that. Yeah.
Right. So I almost scored out the maximum. It wasn't max, but it was medium high. Right. So beyond medium security,
Like user risk.
Right. But I mean,
I'm saying, that's what they said.
that's what they said.
Yeah.
But then, I'm there for a couple of years, no disciplinaries. And then I dropped. I was so young when I came in, you turn 25. Now because you're considered older and more mature. Now your custody points drop. I scored out beyond 2 security levels. I mean, that's all insignificant. All I'm saying is I ended up going to this camp, but I don't remember if I was Because if it was on 09, it had to be in the medium high, right? Because that's where I was at. Unless they were watching a rerun. But I'm bringing this up because at the time, I didn't know it's Mingle Mixx from Tampa. Sure. I just knew it's the banana dude from Big Brother. That's how everybody knew the banana dude. And they loved you, bro. The convicts all love you. Matter of fact, I remember some shit about popping off because, and I thought it was in Carolina, Mississippi, because they would, constantly try to take our TVs and shit. But I remember some shit almost popping off because of the TV, and then they couldn't watch and see who was going to be eliminated. And the TVs. Man,
I would speak to that. I mean, all you just did was describe. There is a whole lot. I mean, I'll be honest. We said that I DJ for 1 million people in person. That show's on 3 times a week. Back then, it's 15, maybe more now, but 7 million people on Monday, 7 million people on Wednesday, 7 million people on Thursday.
Oh, the whole TV room. And I remember on a Thursday, the whole TV room was locked in, bro. The whole TV room. I didn't even really go in.
It is an addicting show.
But I remember it being, and I remember everybody being pissed when they voted you off.
You get bought in, man.
You had legit fans in there, bro.
Well,
and I remember that. And then when I hit the turf,
9 block one time.
Right? And when I hit the turf, I came home. JJ showed me a ton of love.
Yep.
Helped me do a show. Threw me a come home party.
Yep.
A paid gig, put money in my pocket and everything. And then, put me on. You don't remember Mingle Mixx? He was in the show. And then it's like, oh, that's dude from Big Brother, the Banana Man.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it's just crazy how it all circumvents. But I'm curious, man, because clearly you were making waves. Did other opportunities come out of that?
Good question, and probably a real standard question. I can say, I think I was the only my season. And again, when I say I took notes and all that stuff leading up to it, I had been watching. I was on season 11, so had watched for 10 seasons, and I made some notes. Don't make alliances too early. Don't talk too much. Yeah. It's just hard for me.
I can relate. We got the podcast.
Well, and I tangent, like I say, I'll tell 8 stories in one. Started here. Started as a little pebble in a pond. So I took some of those notes. But really, your castmates dictate a lot of your strategy.
Okay.
I know my particular season was tough because we had the cliques, and that was impactful because I was in the offbeats. I was like, I'm a DJ. Offbeat is like the opposite of who I am. But offbeats was like, quirky. I'm a teacher and a DJ. So I really think, I'll be honest, tell everybody, I think I was probably the X factor. It was the populars, the athletes, the brains, and the offbeats. And I think as they're casting, they want to find people obviously that fit each clique. But I graduated with 3.9. I played college basketball. I was in calendar couples with the popular shit, and I'm a bit of an offbeat too. So I think again that they could have put me. I'm a chameleon anyway. Yeah. Talk to lawyers, 22nd and 4th, wherever you want to go.
They gonna pigeonhole on.
Well, we'll figure it out. To your surroundings, whatever. But I got in the offbeats, and so part of that was people couldn't vote out people in their own cliques. So me and you and Ricky Bobby is in the same clique, but I don't like Ricky Bobby. We can't vote him off. And I think that I got voted off like who was it? Jesse. Then we're okay 15 years later. We don't talk or anything, but I was hot with him for a little while.
But on there, y'all
he nominated me. He backdoored me.
Yeah.
I thought I was safe. I thought it was going a big running. And then, I picked and they still make fun of me, as well they should. I chose the margarita party. I thought I was good. I could have won that competition. That's another bit of advice I tell people. Win everything you can win. Because that's the only way to secure your safety in the game.
Yeah.
But they voted me off. And he was like, last time you saw me, you told me you had people waiting at TIA. I was like, I might have. I was mad. And I don't like being like that. I was hot. I had some dudes, man, it was just like, tell me, say the word, Case.
Yeah.
I said, nah, let's let that man live now. Let him keep They didn't keep his kneecaps and all that, but the clicks played a lot into my eviction.
Yeah.
But it was cool. There's a lot of downtime, man. Like you look to do a competition like twice a week for an hour, you know, and that leaves, there's 168 hours in a week, so that leaves 164 hours of nothing. You know, you lifting and swimming and tanning, but there's nothing to read. And like I said, no phones, no computers, none of that.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at it. And I'm good at stuff.
You're not good at doing nothing.
I'm not good at doing nothing. I'm not good at, I don't like to gossip, man. I don't like to talk shit.
Yeah.
For what? For what? To what end? And to my eviction, you know, and then it's all right. It was a really cool experience.
But ultimately, you had fun with it.
Had a great time. Opportunities, circle back finally.
Yeah.
38 minutes later. I thought going on the show, I think my natural personality. I'm a pretty outgoing guy. You know, it helps me in education. I know me and Angel Soto were talking recently about how much you got to talk to be a teacher. You know, either positive or negative, but you finna talk. Yeah. You're either finna lift kids up and tell them how great they're doing. That's part of the gig. It's part of being a grown-up working with kids. Or you finna tell them act right. But you finna talk either way. You're gonna talk to them either way. But I'm an outgoing kind of guy. I mean, the older I get, the less outgoing I get. But when I was a young man, you know, it helped with DJ. You know, I'm an outgoing guy. I thought that I waited by the phone, like I think I could host a game show. Like I watch the game show guys, and I think I could do that. Yeah. You know, I could do that. And the call didn't come. You know, and I didn't get an agent or anything. Like I said, I got a family to come home to.
Yeah, exactly.
Went back to work.
Yeah. You went back on the ground.
Like I came back on, like I got evicted on a Thursday. They do evictions every Thursday. I went to my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law's wedding that weekend in San Francisco. Like I went from Cali to San Fran to home. And I didn't do any of that. My wife had handled all that because she was in contact. Really great people that we dealt with from Big Brother who helped us out with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Really, really, Sean Laws.
So you got some connections out of it at the very least.
Like I said, I met some people and I actually reached out to Robin Cass, who does casting for half a dozen shows, and asked about Amazing Race. And like I said, I was in shape at the time, but my brothers are both really in shape, really smart people. Shouts out to Gabe and Brent.
Okay. Yeah.
And asked her, emailed her, hey, you know, I wouldn't mind going on Amazing Race. What do you think? She was like, nah, thanks though. Useless. You know, and that's fine. Like I say, they do some crossover from those shows. Big Brother people go on Amazing Race, Survivor people go on Amazing. They go on Challenge now, you know, stuff like that. I wasn't around long enough, and that's on me.
Yeah.
To get any kind of traction like that.
Because I bet a lot of those people didn't have families that they went.
I think I was the only parent.
Yeah.
I was the only parent.
That changes a lot, bro. Like
only one other house guest was married, and I was the only parent. I mean, and that's you know, and I know I'll never forget the first night you go in and it's tradition. You go and sit around and you go around. Everybody says who they are, where they're from, what they do. Right? Casey, I'm Tampa. I'm a DJ and a teacher. I'm 40. Don't vote out the old guy first. I'm hit the third. But it happens all the time, voting the old guy out. And there was some generation gap. And again, that's fine. I did my best.
Did you I can imagine, you know, like, I mean, all these dudes that when I was up the road, like they, you know, they were fans. So I can only imagine that maybe a little bit of star status kind of stuck with you after.
100%. No, especially.
That was a popular show.
21 million people a week. No, and I got to do, you asked me about opportunities. I was invited, Janice and I, my wife Janice, and I got to go travel and did some fundraising things.
Yes. Went
out to Vegas a couple times and they, you know, put us up and we signed some autographs, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you know.
But you had fans.
Yeah. And I have to laugh. a lot of you reality TV people, you're not Beyonce. Like you work at a kiosk in the mall. Nothing with that. Nothing wrong with that. I worked in the mall. I get it. But lose me with that Brad Pitt vibe that you got. Lose me with that Brad Pitt vibe. Because you don't have no talent. You got on a TV show that picks people of all types. Just like me. And I'm just a dude from the Burg representing. Stand up, 7 to 7.
Yes,
Welcome to Juke City. But we got invited to some nice charity events. Virginia, Oregon, Vegas. Got to DJ rooftop at the Rio for a Big Brother event. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't get invited out to me and my man Alex from season 8. He's a DJ in New York. He's a heavy DJ in New York. Alex Colandonato. And we DJ'd at rooftop at the Rio, man. I was like, word.
Yeah.
Got invited to some cool stuff like that. Yeah, signed autographs. Sold a banana suit online on eBay.
Yeah.
$350.
Okay.
The original. I mean, that stuff's memorabilia. When you say that your fellow inmates, how do you refer to those fellow incarcerants?
Yes, sir.
The
homies.
The homies, there you go. They're just a cross-section of Americans like that.
Yeah.
There are people who are super fans, and that's cool. I don't know if you know, but they offer the 24/7. You can subscribe and watch 24/7. Man, I got the season I got out. CBS gave me a free pass. They said, "Oh, here's your free code." And I watched that shit about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I want to watch a motherfucker make a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
And nothing against those people that do, because I said it before. If there wasn't no them, there would be no us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
There's no them, there would
for
be no
everything.
us.
There's a market for anything.
So I'm not poo-pooing on what people like to spend their time. I like to spend my time on the couch a lot of times if I'm not working. So don't poo-poo on me either. But yeah, there was some, I don't know about star. People introduce you as a star, Big Brother. I said, I was a house guest, man. I was a contestant.
But it was a good time. And it was an accolade, right?
It was certainly a feather in my cap. Really neat experience. And again, I got some. I'll never forget though. So I get back, and I go to the people at Jackson's, and I say, and this you'll appreciate this. And some people, like my dude Strizzo is touring right now in Canada.
Shout out to
Jelly Roll. He's just Jamal in Clearwater. And so I get back off CBS. Mind you, 21 million people a week, right? People flying me out places and everything, sign some autographs, take some pictures, kiss some babies, shake hands and stuff. It's really cool, really neat time. We raised some money for some great causes. I have to, that's important. And then some people stole the money and give it to the charity, which is messed up.
Oh, yeah.
But people are grimy.
Yeah.
People are grimy sometimes. But that wasn't my fault. But I get back and I call Jackson. I say, hey, man, I just got back from Big Brother. I don't know if you guys seen me. They said, yeah, we saw you. I said, how about, can I come out and, host tonight? Something, we have a welcome back thing. Just give me like a stack, $1,000 or something like that. I said, people really like the show. I had just gotten off. Like, you're hot for about 6 months. 90 days, 6 months.
Yeah. Riding that wave. You got to milk it.
15 minutes. Right. Strike while the iron's hot. I said, yeah, you want to have me out to host tonight, do a meet and greet, talk about the show and everything? They was like, you're Casey to us. And I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Okay. And that's how it is.
Yeah.
They say a lot of time, artists, you got to go somewhere else to hit it big.
Yeah.
Because in your hometown, you're Michael.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They know too much.
It was like, you just Casey around here, man. Yeah. We can get you for $200. How about we give you $1,000? Anyway.
Well, no, that's great, man. And thank you for sharing that. So I know you've had, ups and downs in the game, and you've been in the game longer than a lot of people. What I love, I got to give you your flowers, bro, because you don't stop. You keep gigging. I know you're actively gigging now. You still can turn up a party, and and I love that, and I respect that about you, but a big part of this podcast, we don't sugarcoat things around here. So, we talked about a high point. Now, I know in DJing it wasn't always sweet. I know there had to be some low points, and the whole point is like not to make this a negative downturn, but to maybe tell a story of a low point, right? That where maybe you almost even threw in the towel, bro. Like a point so low where maybe you thought it was over for you, but you found something to pull you through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there a situation you can think of?
I mean, a couple. I'll be honest, man. Like I was mostly hip hop DJ.
Yeah.
You know, and techno hit.
Yeah.
In the late 90s.
Okay.
And techno's not my thing.
Yeah.
Now I can beat match, you know, and all the techno songs are 136 beats per minute. You know what I'm saying? That's not the hard part. It just wasn't my thing. But there was a 5-6 year period where most of the nightclubs were hiring techno DJs, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, people like what they like.
Yeah.
That wasn't my thing. I don't know if I ever gave up. You still had your, you know, niches of hip hop stuff, but it wasn't like it had been before.
Yeah.
So that was tough. And like I said, I adapted. And then I went to Ben Records and bought Beach Ball. And I bought all of Stay Low, all the Molecules and all that, all them songs, man. That was tough. I mean, chasing the money's always been tough.
Yeah.
And when I say chasing, I mean collecting.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been some recent stuff. If you're familiar with the Tampa scene,
oh yeah,
there's a dude out there, man, that owes people some money. At least
bucking.
what the internet says. And I talk to so many people involved, and it's I just don't get it, man. I don't like owing people money. Like if I owe you money, in fact, I think I owe Angel for the poster, the Tampa poster. I got to get with him. I think he said $4. But anyway, but I used to work at Coliseum on Friday and Saturday night. Friday night, popping.
Yeah.
Coliseum over off Overton.
Yeah. Wow.
Been late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. That was when the most popping spots back then.
Bussin'.
Yeah.
Bussin'. And I, like, Chris Craze would be downstairs.
Yeah.
And I was upstairs doing hip hop, and they do techno downstairs in the big room. And I had a little room upstairs, man, doing hip hop, packed, you know, and carrying records back then.
Yeah, crazy.
Before Serato, my wife was like, "Why couldn't we get married after Serato?" Because she used to have to carry records with me.
Yeah.
But helped me carry records. Thank you, Janice. But and so I was making $150. That was going rate at the time. $150 for a night. You know, 10 to 2. And there's 3,000 people in that club, man, at $10 a head. Well, how much is that? $30,000. And the manager, Coliseum was bad because the manager sent it to the promoter. He said, "Oh, go get it from the promoter." Hey, man, can't get it. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, been there all night, tired, whatever. It's Friday, so I already worked a full day at work. Manager sent it to the promoter. Promoter say, "Oh, go see the owner." I said, "Okay, go find him. Go to the owner." And the owner sent it to the manager. And then by the time you finally get to the motherfucker supposed to pay him, he give you $125. And it's, "Hey, man, it's $150. Oh, you're a little short.
And you just watch them make all that money.
You made $30,000 on cover charge.
Yeah, not even. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You ain't sold a drink yet.
Yeah.
I'm talking about at the door.
Yeah.
So the next week you go, you owe me $175 next week. Get there and he give me $100. Hey, we little short. So next week you owe me $225.
Yeah.
And now we can give him $200. Still $25 light. And just always chasing that last $25. No, and I rocked it. I mean, I have people who tell me, somebody recently, one of my son's teammates, his daddy used to come. He said, "Man, you had that thing popping." And we did. It was sweaty, good sweaty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But chasing the money, and then probably the only time I almost had to kill somebody. True story. Because you know what? Don't lie on your date. These two dudes came down from a motorcycle club. And they booked me there with Cane the Gators. Like I said, we Gators pumping. 800 people, 900 people, radio stations out there, you know, thick. And they booked us to do I want to say a holiday thing. I had my dude Bacon, shouts out Bacon.
Yeah, Bacon.
And they had me come, hired us to do to the DJ, I want to say like a holiday party. And they was expecting like 200 people. They got 20 round banquet tables, like a wedding reception. It's like a soccer place, a big soccer room out in Largo. Get there, man. Being baked set up, sound check, getting it rocking. And they had supposed to pay us like $600. Which again, this is probably 15, 18 years, it was a while ago. $600, I probably underbid, which I've done many times. But now I overbid. How much is it? $4,000. If they don't bite on that, then I'm like, cool, I'll stay home.
Staying on the couch.
Stay on the couch, right? Cool with that. But $4,000, I'm there. But anyway, and the dude, so it's slow. Now, mind you, I'm just a DJ. You know, we didn't do the promotions. This might have been before Facebook. Nah, it wasn't, because I remember the flyer. Facebook was whatever. But it's not my party. It's not my friends. It's not my friends. You know, it's not my circle of people that I rock with, you know. And they have 50 people show up, 40 people show up. It used to be about midnight. And dudes walk over to us, man. Me and Bake standing there. 8 dudes. And me and Bake. I say, hey, man. You trash tonight, man. I said, I'm playing the same music you see me play at Gators. And he gave me a deposit when he showed up. Gave me $300. He said, hey, man, yeah. You trash tonight, man. And I'm thinking, I want to cuss him out. I want to whatever. I want to tell him your promotion sucks. I want to say those things. But there's 8 dudes and me and Bake.
Yeah.
He said, give me the money back.
He said, give you the deposit back?
It gets worse. Give me the money back. I was like, that's just a deposit. You really owe me another $300, man. It's not my fault that the party's slow, man. You the promoter. I said, I'm playing the same hits. Music is the same player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't blame
here.
me because you people are doing something else tonight.
Yeah.
That's not my fault. He leans over, man, sticks his hand in my pocket.
Oh, no.
Takes the cash out. Get it.
Big biker dude?
8 dudes.
Yeah.
Not one dude.
Yeah.
And I looked at Bacon.
And they had a plan. Sound like they had a plan.
And I was like, you want to go? and by want to go, I mean, want to get our ass whooped?
You want to go to the hospital?
You know what I mean? Yeah, what do you do? And it was, I cried. It was emasculating.
Yeah.
Motherfucker took my manhood that night, man.
Bro. Damn.
You know, and they can kiss my ass, man. But that would probably, I was calling my daddy.
Yeah.
At 42,
Yeah.
I called my daddy. Because he's the one with the gun in the safe.
Go get these sandwiches, Dad.
Circle back.
Go to get these sandwiches.
Circle back. And I called my dad. I said, Dad. I said, man, I was on the phone with tears, man. I said, man, I can't even believe this dude did this shit. Just to reach in my pocket, my Levi's. Took the money out of my pocket.
That's wild, bro.
I ain't never had nothing happen like that before.
No, that's wild.
I got robbed. Really. I got robbed.
Yeah. At the gig.
At the gig. And we got, now it's uncomfortable. We got to pack out. We got to load out. And I left my amp there that night. I never saw that amp again either. That was a good amp too. But that was probably, you talk about a low point, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I felt like quitting, man. But I felt like killing somebody.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Go get my butt. And then you got to look at big picture. I'm not going to kill somebody with $300 or $600. Right?
Well, and then think about how your life would be on a whole nother trajectory.
Right. I got a wife. I got a wife and kids.
Exactly.
I just don't
and now you got a whole lot of kids, which I want to get into before we wrap.
Let's run it. Yeah, what you got? No, I've been teaching 31 years. I don't dress like this, although similar. I was in my whole time being in St. Pete. I don't lie. I don't tell a lie. spent a year on 54th at a school 1 year, teaching 5th grade. And I prefer not to say the schools.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's cool. That's respect.
Almost all South Side. You know,
Yeah.
30 out of 31 years.
Yeah.
All 31 years south of Almerton, you know. And then some south of Central. But 10 years south of Central. Shit. 13 years south of Central. But no, 31 years teaching. I taught 5th grade. You know, you talk about the struggle, man. I graduated in 1991, as we talked about earlier, with my degree in elementary ed. I had a baby. My girl at the time, she's a wonderful lady. We had a baby. Moved him up, man. I was playing basketball. It was my senior year. He was born. Shout out, Cruise Money.
Yeah.
35 now.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But I mean, I was going to class, working 2 jobs, going to basketball practice. But I graduated. One of the reasons I went into education is so I get a job, right? Got a baby, you know? You got to pay for your kids, man. That's just, I know that's different for people, whatever, and the struggle is real. It is. It wasn't easy.
It's live.
But it is live in real life. But there was a hiring freeze in 91. Hey, y'all don't need no teachers. I mean, we need 8 teachers at my school today. but there was a hiring freeze, so I did a variety of jobs. Did some construction.
Oh, so you couldn't get a job out of
It
school?
was a hiring freeze.
Oh.
I graduated in 91, didn't start teaching until 94.
Wow.
True story.
So you had to just kind of gig and hustle.
Did some gig, and I really wasn't even DJing like that. I was a bouncer. My staff's stepfather owned the club, Maxwell's Hammer, in Clearwater, up Palm Harbor. I was a bouncer. It's a 180-pound bouncer. I checked IDs. The guy next to me, though, was a former boxer, 295. We got beat up at Denny's one time. That was good stuff. Got our ass whooped at Denny's.
You and the bouncer?
He's 295.
Damn.
We got our
Was it them biker dudes?
No, it wasn't. Like 12 dudes, man.
Damn.
We got stomped at the Denny's in Palm Harbor. That's a true story, too. Good story. That's my man, Kurt. Kurt now owns a moving company that's moving me on Saturday. Shouts out to Big Boy Moving. But anyway, I was a bouncer. I did some construction, some roofing, put a nail in my leg, some nail gun. But I worked at BT Bones, was a steakhouse. I was a busboy. Yeah. Them other busboys thought I was the flyest motherfucker around because I was smashing the hostess. And they looked at her with like stars in their eyes. And I was like, come on, man. I'm a busboy by my swagger. It's still long in here. Come on now. I remember her name too. But anyway, you know, hey, college boy. Yes, sir. People trip me out. And I was talking to Carol Soto today. And, you know, we was talking about, you know, people saying that they're not going to do something. Like, that just trips me out. Oh, I ain't finna do that. That's...
They get a job or whatever?
Well, get a job, or they don't like something somebody tells them in the job that's in the job description.
You know what you came to do.
I would shut if I didn't have no other work, and so I did it. And so I was a busboy. I mean, I'm 25, 23, 24, 25 with a college degree, and I'm pulling, got 3 roommates. I got 3 roommates because I only paid 1/4 of the rent. Wasn't because I loved them motherfuckers, but I mean, I did love them. This is the day when they, you know, it was the 3 of us. Stoff and Rit, Ice, and me. 2-bedroom house with a wall unit. Used to pull our mattresses out, sleep in the living room because that's where the wall unit was. Still Florida, little 2-bedroom. Me and Stoff had bunk beds. I'm 25 with a college degree, sleeping in a bunk. Actually, it wasn't even bunk beds. That's a lie. He had a bed on stilts, about 5 feet, and I had a mattress on the floor underneath. Now that's so when people be like, I can't live there. I don't want to eat that. I don't. You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You live how you got to live. College boy, somebody threw up in the bathroom. Go clean it up. Yes, sir. And go clean it up. I dug ditches.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, college boy. See that pole?
Yeah.
50 yards away. And working on the college campus, so they couldn't bring in the backhoe thingy.
Oh, you digging
the
ditches?
Caterpillar with a shovel.
Yeah.
College boy. See that stack of wood in front? Yes, sir. Stack of plywood now, taller than you, taller than me. 6'5", 7 foot. Stack of plywood. College boy. Yes, sir. I got to sit here with my degree. See that stack of wood? Put it in your bag. Yes, sir. And if you carry one piece of plywood, you can manage it. It was manageable, right? But then the dudes on the job will clown you. Gosh, boy, you weak. So you got to carry two. My shoulders were this big.
If you ain't risking your whole bag, you ain't.
Clowning you.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so I did all those jobs, you know, in that interim. I got my teaching job in 94. Taught 5th grade. My certification is K5. Taught 5th grade for 15 years.
Yeah.
At 2 or 3 schools. And then about 15 years ago, I got my PE certification. Funny story, too. You want to hear it?
Yeah, tell us.
Funny story. So I decided I've been at the same school about 8-9 years. Just kind of, sometimes if you ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah, I remember that book.
Great book.
Yeah.
I've read it 10 times. It's an easy read. but I needed to move my cheese. Just time for me to move on somewhere else. So I went to the job fair. And you talk about a low point. Here's one. I go to the job fair. You got your resumes and all that stuff. And job fair to teach things, like we go out to like Osceola High School and you go and you get like a hot sheet. Here's availabilities. Like I had where the house was and I made like a 30-minute radius. I'm going to check these schools right here, right? See what they got. It's 4th grade over here, 5th grade over here, 3rd grade over here, yada, yada. So I went around on that Thursday and did some interviews like you scheduled. Oh, I'll meet with them at 9. I'll meet with them at 9:30, meet with them at 10. And they were like, oh, do you have any special skills? I remember one of the interviewers was like, I see that you can do this, and you're certified this. Do you have any special skills? I can beatbox. I think she probably meant Excel spreadsheets or something. I was like, I can beatbox. I can dance. And it was like Big Brother. They said, all right, we'll give you a call. Friday, no call. Saturday, no call. Sunday, no call. Monday, no call. They have the fucking retread thing on Tuesday. That was Thursday. Nobody called. Now I'm trying to transfer. I done put in for a voluntary, involuntary transfer, whatever it is. I go back Tuesday and I get the hot sheet and there's less people there, right? Because all the other people done got callbacks. They have jobs. This was 16 years ago. And I go to a lady, principal I had met, you know, the Thursday before, and I said, hey, Mr. Russell, how you doing? You know, you trying to, you know, I encourage people, be nice to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk about ways that, you know, I think that the core values of being on time, working hard, being respectful, be nice. You know what I mean? Do what you're supposed to do. Okay, I'm done. That's it. Do those things and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to do some things you don't want to do. But anyway, I go over to her and I say, hey, Mr. Russell. She was like a couple years from retired, really nice lady. So, hey, I said, nice talking to you last Thursday. She said, yeah, we feel. I said, it says right here you have a PE position open. She goes, oh, I didn't even know about that. Let me see that. I was like, how do you not know, man? It's your school. She says, oh, she said, I guess, I didn't even know. He must have put the paperwork in to retire in the last 2 days, 2 work days. I said, well, I'll be honest. I said, I'm a, former college basketball player. I said, I like sports. I have ESPN. I have sons, I have nephews. She goes, well, I did. True story. She goes, well, I sitting there just like this. By the grace of God, man. This dropped in my lap. She goes, well, I didn't bring any PE questions for the interview because I didn't know about the opening. She says, how about, she goes, who invented basketball? And I was like, is Ashton Kutcher here? Am I getting punked? Who invented basketball? That's the question you ask basketball dude? Like she said, who invented hockey? I got nothing. Who invented tennis? I got nothing. Who invented basketball? I was like, Dr. James Naismith at the University of Kansas, but he's Canadian for real. She goes, okay, you got the job. I'll see you. I was like, word up.
Wow.
I called my wife. I said, babe, I'm going to be a PE coach.
That's what's up.
And it was, it has been it certainly has its struggles. We work in Florida, and we don't have gyms in elementary schools.
Yeah.
Not the public schools on the south side. But
So you got to get creative.
we use some baseball fields that are Parks and Rec,
Okay.
and a tennis court that's Parks and Rec for our outdoor activities.
Yeah.
But it's hot, man. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's
You
hot.
don't have anywhere to take them.
Teachers came out last week, and
And
it was
it's
like,
got to be rain.
a lot of rainy
Yeah.
days. It was like, oh, field day. This is all you do. This is all you do. I see it's 72. It's easy today. It's 72 and breezy. I said, talk to me in August. Talk to me in May about this is all you do.
Man, I remember I ran into you at an event in Williams Park. I don't even remember what it was. I think they had a little concert going on. But you were telling me, and I don't know how long you had been doing it. It could have been that because this was damn near 10 years ago that I ran into you. And man, you told me you lit up. You lit up talking about what you do and talking about the kids. And that just, I'm a dad. And so, children, that's the thing about children. They can have the biggest asshole parents in the world. Doesn't even matter. Like, we're not holding that against kids. Like, kids are these fragile minds in the future. And I could see you just being that role model that maybe a lot of these kids need, man. So I just want to give you your flowers and maybe have you expound on that a little bit and how it lights up your life and how you light up their life.
I say my prayers, man. I do love my job. I do. It would be a lie to say that every day is perfect, because it's not. I get cussed out. I have been bitten, kicked, punched, spit on, stuff thrown at me. Yeah. But those are, I think you have to be careful as an educator. I have shared with some of my coworkers and tried to change their verbiage. And by that I mean, teachers, and I've done it, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I'm trying not to, and I'm even sharing that a little bit, like say, drop the pebble and let the ripples move out. Saying these kids don't want to learn. These kids disrespectful. And I feel your pain, because I've been disrespected and I've been done and done, and I've been ignored and I've been cussed and all that. But most of my kids are good kids. 8 out of 10, man, do the right thing. 8 out of 10 make good. Now that 20% is loud and obnoxious sometimes. And again, there's, people ask what's wrong with education. It's 30 things. It's 50 things.
Yeah.
50 possibilities. Yeah. It's not dad ain't there in the house.
Yeah.
It's not dad's incarcerated. It's not they reading the wrong books. It's not the nutrition is bad. It's 50 things, man. It's humans. They're little humans.
Too big, not enough teachers, right? Like this.
Keep going.
Yeah, and that's
keep
just
going.
Not even tipping the iceberg. Like,
it's 50 things. And I know you and I even spoke about this recently. And I love all my students, man. Some of them hard to love, and some of them have chemical imbalances. Some of them do have crappy home situation. I thank the Lord every day. My parents who weren't perfect. My dad was a drummer, rock star. And so he was working nights and, gone a lot, whatever. But I had pretty normal upbringing, for the most part. We was broke, but there was love in my house. Yeah. And all my kids don't come from a loving household.
That's right, man.
All of them don't come from a loving household. So you try and love them. Try and lift them up. We are in the business of hope.
Yes, sir.
The ministers of hope. I read that somewhere, and I really like that. The ministers of hope. And it's a hard job, man. It's not for everybody. We had the record for the person quitting, and we have empty staff positions, man, unfilled. We're Title I. We're transformation zone because the scores was low, and that's a problem. You're talking about going to base the whole school grade on a test one day. Well, maybe little dude didn't eat breakfast. Maybe little dude, maybe his sister was in the hospital last night in the emergency room till 4 a.m. and he was up till 4 a.m. but his mom had to drop him off at 7:30 because she had to go back to the hospital. But he'd already been at the hospital for 12 hours, and this little cat on 3 hours sleep, and he's 7, and you want him to take a test? that gives the school a grade. And again, I use that as one story.
And that's a real life example somewhere.
That's a real life. It's not just because mama ain't shit, daddy ain't shit.
Exactly.
And that's easy for people to say. And I've had people say it to me. I have some friends of mine that we are friends for a lot of reasons. We don't agree on some of that stuff. And we're still friends. You know, I know the world we live in is you're either X or Y or blue or red or whatever. We can disagree about this.
Yeah.
And
still be adults.
And still be adults and still be friends.
Yeah.
Because we've known each other since 6th grade.
Yeah.
But and so you try and lift kids up. But I don't know, a couple years ago, lady quit on the 4th day. We've had people leave, you know, they go home at Thanksgiving, never see them again. Go home at Christmas, never see them again. And I'm not mad at those people. I want people to be happy. You know, if this ain't for you and you're not happy, go do something that makes you happy. I have to laugh though. Every time I see somebody quit, I'm like, man, her man must make a lot of money. Motherfucker must be rich over there, man, because I know as bad as I ever get, and I get mad. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I get angry. I yell when I shouldn't. I'm a lot better at it than I was when I was 30. You know, 20 years later, I'm a lot better at it. About that being my only tool. Sit down. Answer yourself. Walk the feet. Ad nauseum. But it's not for everybody. Go be happy, man. If this ain't for you, go be happy. And my school is a challenge. There are some challenging kids there, some challenging situations. Yeah. We're understaffed. When you're down a guidance counselor and another counselor and something, and down an AP, everybody else has to absorb those roles.
Yeah.
And so there's more work for the same pay. They don't give you no more money.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the same money.
Everybody's overworked, understaffed.
It is a lot of that, at least at my school. I mean, there are schools, man, and I've looked at transferring, you know, my wife, my mom, transfer somewhere where it's different. Let's leave it at that. I'm like, I don't know, man. I have a pretty south of central vibe.
Yeah. And I know the kids appreciate that.
I hope so.
I'm sure they do.
There in the last year or two, and sometimes you just get a group of kids. This group of 5 little girls doesn't like me. And they don't like me because I asked them to be quiet while I'm talking.
Yeah.
I didn't ask them to dunk a basketball, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't ask them to run a 4.240. I didn't ask for their pinky finger. Just please don't talk while I'm talking. Well, how you got to be like that? You be quiet. My mama gave me a mouth. I ain't got to listen to you. Okay. You know what I mean? Well, you. And again, you have a toolbox. And maybe you try and touch base with that person the next day. You say, yo, I'm just asking to be quiet while I'm doing the coaching. You know, it's 5 minutes in the beginning class, and then we run for 40 minutes. Yeah. Some kids don't want to run. You know, people think everybody in the South Side is athletic. No. Yeah. They just want to sit around. Some people like art. Some people like music. Some people like PE. Some people like reading. Some people like math. Schools are cross sections of humanity.
Yeah. That's very well put.
And it's the bell curve. I share, and again, being an OG, being a veteran teacher, you share with your coworkers and try and drop some science, man, give them some wisdom, give them some little nuggets. I had a teacher, 5th grade teacher last year struggling. I said, look, she had a challenging bunch. I'm talking about 6'8" cats in there wilding. And some of it is we got retainees. We got kids in 5th grade, supposed to be in 7th. So they acting like 7th graders.
Yeah, and they're big.
And they strong. Big. Yeah, bigger than the teeth. They ain't bigger than me.
Yeah.
That's why I stay in elementary.
Yeah.
I can still take everybody if it goes down. I have not met a kindergartner I could whoop. Maybe some 5th graders are starting to get close. But she had a rough group. And so I shared with her. I said, Chunky. I said, get to 10. I said, get to 10 a.m. School doors open at 8, whatever. I said, get to 10. Take 2 minutes, I said, then get to noon. I said, and then get to 2, and then guess what? It's almost 3. We got at 3. You made it. And go home and do whatever it is that you do. Is it exercising? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Is it drinking beer? Is it getting a massage? Whatever it, is it watching TV? Is it reading a book? For me, it's watching TV, reading books.
Yeah.
Do whatever it is that you can't give to other people if you ain't got it inside you.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And that's somebody I just learned that in the last couple of years. Like I've struggled with leaving it all at work, and then I'm out from my own family, which is make me cry.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's tough, man.
Things
Right?
like that
But everybody
now.
goes through it. I ain't no special motherfucker, man. Everybody works. Everybody hustles. Everybody should work. Everybody should hustle.
Yeah.
And it can be a soul sucking job sometimes. Some of it, the soul sucking part of it is tragic stories, man.
Yeah.
Sad stories, man.
Yeah.
Sad stories.
Losing kids.
Losing kids,
I can
losing
imagine.
parents, losing
Yeah.
relatives.
Yeah.
Not having enough food.
Oh,
You know,
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and this kid supposed to take a test.
Yeah.
Give a fuck about a test.
Yeah. and he's really
He's hungry. He might really be a smart kid, man. Yeah.
But you know, you talk about these reality TV shows where people doing this for prizes and for fun. It's like the people out here really going through this, and that's the thing. Like that, people don't understand food insecurity. Food insecurity. People think that just because you're not homeless living
Right.
in a cardboard box,
We got a bunch of homeless. I say a bunch. We've got a homeless population.
we got a huge
Every
homeless
day.
population. But what people
I mean,
don't
in my
realize
school.
is you got kids, kids, man, and then you got kids that they may have a roof over their head, but they ain't got food in the pantry.
Right.
You know, and so that's why you got, you know, these.
We do a pretty good job. I can speak for my school. They get breakfast and lunch free. We're free lunch, breakfast and lunch. Every Thursday we got a local church that donates food. Kind Mouse, I think, gives us some food as a local organization that they do a pack snack. Can take on some food for the weekend. We try.
Yeah.
We try, man. We try. But food. What'd you say? What'd you call it?
Food insecurity.
Food insecurity. No, man, kids living in a hotel.
Yeah.
You know.
Not knowing when they're going to have a meal. But their meals aren't guaranteed. You know,
I just thought of Dutch Dirty talking about the hotel. What's the name of the hotel?
shout out that.
Right at Fifth. Shout out to Dutch. The Mosley.
Okay.
I mean, in the Mosley, you want to be scared? Let me drop you off right there. You ain't got to pay $20 to go see M. Night Shyamalan. I'm gonna drop you off right at the Mosley. I think they tore it down and built storage units. But no, man, it is. I mean, it's corny to say it's rewarding. I just feel like I'm doing my part, man. I'm trying to do my part.
Well, man, let me give you your flowers, bro.
Thank you.
Because I really do feel like teachers are the real superheroes. At least the ones who care are. I know some people are just there milking a job and don't care about the kids. But, bro, it's evident. I mean, it's clear as day. I mean, just based off that one conversation that you and I had over a couple drinks at Williams Park, and like you were lit up. And so these kids need people like you, passionate people, and you're a cool ass dude. You've done really incredible things. You're no slouch. Like you had to fight your way to get into that. You had to fight your way to get into DJing, you know, and I know all about what you know, getting turned down and still coming back, and, you know, getting knocked down and getting back up. Like, you know, not everybody's not built for that.
I told somebody just recently, man, I worked at 600 clubs. I've been let go of 600 clubs.
And you still get up and
When
get
it
to
was
the next.
only 400, I was like, I worked at 400 clubs, man. I've been let go at 398. I had 2 gigs, right? Been let go at 398. But you keep pushing, man.
So I know you're still gigging, and I did make you a promise. I said we weren't going to go over an hour. We over an hour.
All right.
But that don't mean I want to make sure, because I know you're actively gigging. I know you got things you got going on, and I know you got some closing remarks that
I'm
you want
doing
to
a
share with
whole
these
lot.
people.
No, you know, I'm here and there, man. I'll be honest. I'm kind of doing some. I can be a little more choosy with I don't want to phone grab. No, I'm Casey Turner on Facebook. It's fine. I'm Mingle Mixx on Twitter.
2 X's.
2 X's. MINGLEMIXX on Twitter. Same thing on Instagram. Although I still can't figure out how to work Instagram.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that myself.
I can't figure it. I need a tutorial. But honestly, man, my son's playing high school basketball, so that's taking a lot of our energies. Teaching. I mean, I think about, man, you know, at 57, man, like I think about the days, dude, and we can end on this note. You talk about the struggle, you know, keeping the lights on and chasing the work. And I think there's something to be said for homework balance. I wasn't always real good at that. Somebody offered me some money to go get it. Because in DJing, especially, you know, I'm sure a lot of industries, but the offers ain't gonna be there that long. You know, and if you don't get it, somebody else will go get it. You know, and so you take all the work you can take. You know, when I was doing arena football team, Tampa Bay Storm, like 8-9 seasons, we had a Friday game. I go to work, you know, get up at 6, and I'm not saying this to be like, look at me. I'm just telling you how it is and what I did. Get up at 6, work at 7, work 7 to 3, 7 to 3:30, drive to the arena, sound check at 5, doors at 6, kickoff at 7, game lasts 7 to 10, load out, go do a club gig from 12 to 3, and then get home at 4.
Yeah.
Now I started at 6 a.m. That's a 22-hour day. Right now, I would just turn into sand like the Scorpion King guy. But it, you know, I mean, I think there's a decade from probably 95 to 05, maybe the 2000, 2010, that I averaged 5 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
There were nights I get 8. There's nights I get 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not healthy. It's not really healthy. And I probably wasn't the best teacher as I could be after 2 hours sleep. I probably wasn't the best father and husband after 2 hours sleep and working all day. Paper chasing, man.
But you're self-aware though, man. So
I am now. I wasn't. I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, you know, you like nice things. Then somebody got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, no. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I can't thank you enough, brother. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, y'all are in the presence of a legend right now, Tampa Bay legend DJ. I mean, if we would have went over this man's whole resume, I mean, his whole bio, we would be talking another 3 hours. I mean, it's the true legend in the flesh right here.
That's nice of you to say.
I appreciate you blessing this platform. Make sure you check him out if you're looking to book that. You know, he's still actively gigging y'all, and can turn up a party, clearly.
$4,000.
So get that money right.
Budget right.
Mingle Mixx at Gmail. That's 2 X's.
There it is.
So y'all holler at on. Check out the socials. Again, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for coming on the show.
Word up.
Man, if y'all already haven't done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button. Make sure you share, drop a comment, tell us what you're thinking. Rate us if you're listening on a streaming platform. Those ratings help a lot. If you want us to talk about your business, or you want to talk about your business, we're looking for sponsorship opportunities, y'all. I appreciate y'all checking in. It's Live Struggle Legacy. We building pyramids.
Live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.